BB851, turn right, heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
The Lufthansa Group has become the latest group to announce major changes to the way it will be operating going forward, with big decisions being made surrounding Lufthansa's future fleet, especially when talking their wide-body aircraft. The executive board at the group has openly come out and said they do not expect the situation to improve anytime soon, and rather when the crisis of COVID-19 slows down, the industry will still feel the effects and won't return to how it was rapidly. The impact will be felt for, as expected, a long period after. After all, these are unprecedented times. It's nothing like we've ever seen before. With this in mind, Lufthansa will be removing a number of larger aircraft in the future to better cope with demand. Therefore, following this assessment of the current state of the aviation industry and going forward, Lufthansa will indeed be saying goodbye to 6 of its Airbus A380s, 7 Airbus A340-600s, and 5 Boeing 747-400s when it comes strictly to their wide-body fleet. These will be permanently departing the airline. Finally, they'll also say goodbye to 11 of their Airbus A320ceos. These will be, as expected, therefore removed from their short-haul operations, with the others I mentioned earlier removed from their long-haul operations. When taking a look more widely at their fleet, the removal of the Boeing 747s and A340s will for sure put a dent in their wide-body outlook. However, unlike a number of other airlines, the carrier does indeed have a high number of these jets, so even with the removal of some, there will still be more waiting there to see. The removal, though, of 6 Airbus A380s was indeed always planned, though, as they were set to be phasing out close to half over the coming years. Currently, according to planespotters.net, 10 are grounded. The removal of 6 will see only 8 remain and be flying. Meanwhile, for the Boeing 747s, they still have over 20 remaining in the entire series. Among plans for the future of the carrier was also seeing these 747-8s, part of the current fleet, take over services that the A380 would indeed be removed from. At least this was their plans as announced last year. These things could have easily changed since then. This is ultimately a decision that has been made based on environmental and also economic disadvantages of these type of aircraft, the wide bodies that is. As discussed in videos throughout this COVID-19 pandemic, airlines will emerge from the crisis, no doubt. However, how they do will be differently to how they flew potentially 5 months ago, where you could argue it was more carefree, if you will. Efficient aircraft will become a priority, as it will enable these airlines, which have already felt quite the financial hit, to try and save their money through efficient operations. Quadjets therefore simply don't fit into this bracket, and while they're incredibly unique and beautiful aircraft, it's unfortunately the way the industry is now rapidly moving. We've even seen KLM also say goodbye to their Boeing 747. Now, on top of all this, Eurowings will see its operations reduced, with a total of 10 Airbus A320s being phased out. Now, an existing objective of Eurowings was to build flight operations into one unit, as noted on their press release. Following this, the group has come to the decision to discontinue flights with Germanwings. Now, Germanwings was founded as a division of Eurowings before the turn of the century, and had a modest fleet of roughly around 40. Its main job was flying between hubs throughout Germany and Europe, and acted as a sister company to Eurowings for many years. Hence it now being, if anything, decommissioned, so Eurowings could act as the sole company. Meanwhile, for Brussels and Austrian, also members of the Lufthansa Group, they will not be folding, but they will be seeing major changes being applied in order to help them survive long term. On top of this, we take a look at Swiss, who will also be seeing fleet changes, something that we're going to have to get used to as the months continue to pass. With airlines phasing out older aircraft in order to be more efficient when travel demand does indeed come back. What are your thoughts, though, on just some of the major decisions being made over at Lufthansa Group in the past 24 hours? Do feel free to drop them in the comment section below, or either on my Twitter. I do very much appreciate all your continued support, and do look forward to seeing you all next time.